grab onto and just...
Hello and welcome to Sub 20 All In, where I've given myself 10 weeks to take my 5k PB down from 22 minutes to sub 20. Can it be done? I don't know, but that's what we're here to find out. Thanks for joining me, and here's what happened in week 2.
Good afternoon, Mark. In North Wingfield, it's 25 degrees Celsius with partly sunny skies.
Right, I'm here ready to do the week 2 session, the Wednesday intervals. Parked somewhere else this time, but heading for the same railway line tracks that I did last time. But this time I'm aware that there's going to be a gentle downslope on the way out, gentle upslope on the way back. So at least I'll be ready for it, I'll know what to expect. It was reasonably flat in the end when I looked at the stats afterwards. I did about just over 9 kilometers in total with last week's interval session, and it was only about 60 meters of elevation gain, so not too bad for around here really. So yeah, I think this is the best place locally that I can use at the moment without traveling too far, so stick with it, see how we get on with this one. This week's session we're going to be doing 3 intervals rather than 2, so the logistics of doing the out and back is slightly more complicated. I'll try and aim to finish somewhere near where I've set off from at the end of it all, but it's probably going to be 2 intervals out, 1 back, and perhaps just do the minute walking breaks in between in this direction so I don't get too far from the car park by the end of it. So another thing I'm doing is alternating which shoes I wear for these speed sessions, so I can figure out which of my 2 decent pairs are any good for doing a fast 5k. I wore the Takumi Sen 8s last week, and I've got the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite Racers on this time. They've got a carbon plate in, so yeah, see if they feel any better, see if I can notice any difference. So better get ready for this warm-up, and I'll talk to you during the run. So it's a standard 2 kilometer warm-up and a 2 kilometer cool down at the end, and the meat of the session this time, 3 intervals rather than 2. It's 3 times 2 kilometers, so a total of 6 kilometers of work, and it's got to be around my 5k PB pace this time, which will be a range of 420 to 430 per kilometer, averaging hopefully around 425. So 6k at my 5k PB pace should be fun. And there's a 1-minute walk between intervals, so give me a chance to get the heart rate down and get ready for the next one. Right, 30 more meters, then I'm starting the first rep. Bit fast. Need to remember this is gently downhill for the majority on the way out. Again, doing 4:11 just like I did last time. I'm easing off. .420. I'm in range. Just need to hold this. First kilometer of that rep, 4 minutes 20, perfect. Right, that's the first rep done. I think it was around 4:20 again. Walking back the way I came to recover. Then I'll turn around for the second rep. Bit fast, 4:13. First kilometre, 4:24 of this rep. Oh, in a case of perfect timing, I had to do this little string of S-bends to finish off that second rep. I've got another 35 seconds of walking to recover, then I'm heading back the way I came, and I know where the undulations are now. It's up and down in both directions, but not much. Definitely bearable, and I'm used to it. It's my norm, really. .423 at the moment. 4:22 that kilometre. One more to go. Right, not sure of the time that final kilometre. Felt good though. The watch said I was in range all the time. Got a minute walk and then a 2k jog back. I'll speak when I've got some breath back. Right, that's the cool down jog done. I may well still be about a mile from the car, which is kind of what you'd expect, given that I ran an extra 2 kilometre rep away from it and then walked 2 minutes back this way to try and compensate. Didn't quite cover the full distance on those walks, so yeah, I'll just have a nice walk back. It's a lovely day for it. I've enjoyed the shoes, the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite Racers. I mean, if you can't run fast in a shoe whose name is that long, you've got no hope, have you, really? But yeah, they're really good. Like I say, they've got the plate in them, and that combination of the foam in them and the plate, it seems to stop my foot from rolling in too far. And I'm watching videos of myself in the Takumi Sen 8s. They have got quite a squishy foam, and if your feet turn out and you're pronating a bit, they do tend to squish and roll, so these feel really good in that regard. So yeah, I think these are probably my favourites at this point, but I'll keep alternating between the two just to get a better picture. With regards to the session itself, really pleased with how it went. Legs are feeling good. You'll probably notice in my little clips of me speaking as I'm running along, there's a lot less surprise at my pace and a lot less complaining along the way, because I know the route now. I know what the undulations are like. I know, when to adjust the effort and keep things at the right effort for the slope I'm on, and just enjoy the downhills and deal with the uphills correctly. All goes well, really. So yeah, happy with that. Happy with this route. It's nice and wide. It's not busy. Can easily get past people. Surface is pretty good. It's hard packed with some kind of loose gravel in places, but nothing I'm not used to. So yeah, I've enjoyed it up to now. So I'll finish my cool down walk, go and see what Strava says about this run. Oh, I did just get a new threshold pop up on my watch again, like last time, like I did on the long run, on Sunday, and it said 4:49 per kilometre at 168 beats per minute, and it had a green arrow, so I think that means I'm getting better. So yeah, pleased with that. Long may it continue. Still walking back to the car. Have you ever noticed how walking's a lot slower than running? About to go under the M1 motorway.
In North Wingfield, it's 15 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect partly sunny weather, with a high of 27 degrees and a low of 15 degrees.
Good morning. Here we are for the Sunday long run of week 2. I've come over to the Silver Hill Trail today, rather than that uphill road route that I picked last time. So again, there are some efforts built into this long run. It starts with 20 minutes easy, and then rather than a 15-minute effort, it's gone up to a 20-minute effort, again at 4:25 per kilometre pace. So that's around my 5k PB for 20 minutes solid. So yeah, hence trying to get away from doing that uphill. And then there's 40 minutes of easy pace again to finish off. So let's see how this one goes. Hopefully not quite as tough as last week. I've changed my shoes this time. I'm wearing the Hoka Clifton 8s rather than the More V4s that gave me blisters last time. But I have put some lubricant on my feet just to try and stave off any issues. It's a lovely morning for it. 15-16 degrees now, 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Yeah, still feeling good temperature wise. Let's get going. I've got into the habit of just monitoring how my body feels before runs, and indeed afterwards and in between, just to look for any signs of niggles turning up and potential injuries, just so I can be in control of that situation. And the one thing I'm noticing for these Sunday long runs is just feeling a little bit beaten up from the Friday and Saturday gym sessions. So thankfully the abs seem to have got used to the hanging knee raises a bit more now. Not as much DOMs as I had last week. Can't really feel it, so getting better, but the legs do feel a little bit well worked at the moment. Right, about 1 minute till I start the effort section now. The watch keeps telling me I'm still in zone 1 instead of zone 2 some of the time, but since the threshold between the two is 150 beats per minute, I'm not going to push too hard to get into zone 2 for the warm-up. Let's see how the efforts go. Finished the effort. That was ridiculous. Was off the pace for most of it. I'll speak again in a minute. Without wanting to repeat myself, those efforts were ridiculous. Trying to get the heart rate under control with the cool down jog. Just had a gel to try and get me to the end. Still got about half an hour's running to do. Wow, harder than the intervals, this long run effort lark. Right, all done then. That's the 40-minute easy pace done after the effort. Keep wanting to call it an interval, but I guess when there's one it seems a bit odd. Yeah, I'm glad I got out before it got too hot today. It's heading up towards 30 degrees later, so I'm guessing it's more like 18 at the moment, which is just about bearable. Still pretty sweaty. The watch says I need 48 hours recovery after that. I have only got recovery jog tomorrow and a bit of work in the gym, so see how that goes. The left knee starts to tighten up towards the end of the longer runs I've noticed at the moment. Around the patella tendon tends to clear up about, half an hour after I get home, so it hasn't been bothering me at any other time up to now except towards the end of the run, so I need to monitor that. Other than that, feeling good, ready to go home and get some breakfast. So I'll get on with my day and I'll catch you in the next part of the video. So, talking about lessons and takeaways from this week's training, having just finished the long run now and got to the end of the training week, I have to say that doing the interval session on the trail worked out better for me than that road route that I picked last time, so I'll be sticking with that for the time being. I have had a couple of suggestions for other local routes I can try, so I've got those in mind as well. One coincided with an idea I had to do the sessions during the later kind of peak parts of the training plan on the actual race route at Queen's Park in Chesterfield, just so it's really specific to where I'm going to do the 5k effort, the race. And when it comes to the long run efforts, I'm finding those tough. There's no denying it. Get to the end of the training week and I've done gym sessions the day before and the day prior to that, and perhaps I'm going out there under fueled on a Sunday morning. Generally have a banana before I go out, and then I had a gel which I kind of remembered to take just after the effort section today, so perhaps fueling comes into it, so I'll try and have some extra food before I get out on the Sunday morning next time, see if that helps. Another thing that I probably got a bit wrong on this morning's long run was going too hard on the warm-up section, and I was seemingly going too fast, despite my heart rate telling me I wasn't, on the kind of 40 minutes easy after the hard bit as well. So yeah, I think I may need to just slow down the slower sections of the long run to give myself a chance of getting the efforts correct, go out there properly fueled, and yeah, just see if that makes any difference for next time. If not, try something else. Okay, here we are again, back in the garage gym. And if you've been following the series up to now, you'll know we're working through each of the exercises or activities in the list of things I work through to try and improve my duck foot issue, where I run with my feet pointed outwards and trying to get everything a bit more lined up and parallel. So we've done a little bit of soft tissue work on the glutes and lower legs up to now. And today we're going to introduce the first stretch of the routine, which is called the, let me get this right, 90-90 hip internal rotation stretch, to give it its full name. So what we're trying to do here is do a stretch that will help to increase the amount that we can internally rotate the hip, and that will prevent us from being externally rotated when we run and walk, or at least help us to get closer to that. So one thing you can do if you're following along and you're interested to see whether you might need to do any of these stretches is just test your internal rotation with a very simple thing that you can do just sitting down like this. So perhaps give it a go and see whether you've got any of the issues that I have. So just from this sitting position, legs roughly at 90 degrees, it doesn't have to be precise. We can test the internal rotation by just bringing that ankle out to one side as far as it will go. And if you can get past 45 degrees or to 45 degrees, you're doing well. I mean, that's not bad at all. Good leg. You've always been my favourite. You can have a treat later, don't tell your brother. And then if you just test the other one, just see how in balance you are. That is as far as it will go. I can really feel something going off here when I do that. So yeah, that one's not quite up to the same as this one. Nice. Not so good. Perfectly in balance. I don't know what you're complaining about. So yeah, give it a go. See whether yours are quite as different from each other as mine are. But I definitely need to do some work on this one. But of course, we'll stretch both just to make sure we're keeping everything the same. So I'll give you a quick demonstration of this stretch now. Okay, so this 90-90 stretch, you've probably seen something similar before. You get one leg, so the thigh's sticking out 90 degrees to your body, and that foot goes backwards 90 degrees, so that's the angle at the knee there. And then in front of you, you've got one thigh pushing straight forwards, and then 90 degrees to the ankle there. So you've got this shape going off there, quite a lot of 90-degree angles there. So in this position where we've got the left leg forward, it's the right leg that we're going to be stretching. This one is internally rotated at the moment, sort of tipping towards your midline if you were stood up. And what we're going to do is try and change the angle of the torso in relation to that to take it further and further into effective internal rotation on this side. So you can either just lean and turn, or I sometimes use something to grab onto and just apply a bit more pressure. But the idea is you're kind of keeping your body not quite upright, but trying to get your belly button and your chest just to turn towards that back foot. Just turn it as far as it will go, and then just breathe here for 30 seconds, a minute. Just try and let everything relax in there. You may be feeling some stretches around this hip area here, which is definitely what I'm expecting on my other side, which is the bad leg. So the routine I've got just says to hold this for a minute. What you can do, and I've seen some variations of, is press your knee into the floor as you're doing it, just to provide a little bit of a different stimulus there. And then when you've been stretching for the full minute, see if you can get this ankle to lift off the floor just with its own strength. I've never been able to do it. I've seen people do it, but yeah, it's tricky that. So having stretched that one, I'll just have a quick go on my bad side and see how that goes. So the non-stretching one goes forwards, the one with stretching goes back. Ignore the sunburn from sitting in the sun for 3 hours at my daughter's sports day this afternoon or this morning. And then as I turn towards that leg, press the knee into the ground. You can just feel the stretch on the side of the hip there. You may feel it in various different places, whichever bit's tightest out of all the muscles that are involved here. You will start to feel the stretch in the tightest spot. You just need to gradually improve that over the weeks and months, and just to improve this internal rotation. Well, that's the gist of it. A minute on each side. Press the knee into the ground if you feel that's helping. See whether you can lift your ankle off the floor at the end, but yeah, that's beyond me at the moment. Coming out of that stretch. Feels a bit awkward. Yep. So there we go, that's the first stretch of the routine done, and I'll carry on, get the rest of them done, and I'll feature a different exercise next week. So how's my body holding up to all this training? Over 50 kilometres a week for 2 weeks on the trot now, when it's very rare I've ever got close to that in the past, so it is a lot of work for me. Generally pretty good. I am noticing a little bit of DOMS and tightness the day after a gym session. But that's kind of bound to happen if you're going to do your strength training and you're running. They're not going to perfectly mesh together, so they don't have any effect on each other. So just monitor that and do my best with it. But yeah, the strength sessions aren't really, really hard. They're just keeping everything working, hopefully, and just trying to get everything into better alignment with the duck footwork. So yeah, I'll keep that as it is, but just keep monitoring it. The other thing I mentioned at the end of the long run, which I had after the last one as well, is the left knee just starts to tighten up, just below the kneecap, around the patella tendon, just starts to feel a sensation. Nothing worrying, nothing you'd call pain, but it does tighten up just for the last part of the long run every time. And it's fine now, as I sit down 10 minutes after getting home, nothing at all. So another one to keep an eye on, but nothing I'm immediately worried about, and it's fine during the other runs during the week as well. So here's my weekly mileage, 54 kilometres this week. You can see my prediction there. Garmin's got me doing a pretty fast 5k. Really happy with the cadence on the long run and efforts today. But I'd failed to hit the target pace. You can see the white line there is showing the target, and most of the blue is underneath that, so some work to be done there. And finally, this is a poll I did just to get people's view on what they think I may be able to achieve by the end of the 10-week plan, given what they've seen up to now after week 1's vlog went out. And I think the results you see there is kind of a fair reflection of what I think is probably realistic, what my chances might be, and where my confidence lies in whether I'll be able to get a sub 20 after this one block. Not 100% confident. I think 45 maybe, even pushing it a bit much, but it's early days. I'll probably do another poll when we're about halfway through, just to see how we've progressed, if at all, and see what people are thinking at that stage. But thanks to everyone who took part. That's some really useful info, and it gives me a realistic idea of where people with some good running knowledge think I may end up, and it just tends to agree with what I'm thinking at the moment and how confident I am that I'll be able to do this. But yeah, there's a good chance I'll get close. Looking ahead to week 3, as you'd imagine, things are going to ramp up again. Managed to get through this week pretty well, although the long run intervals just about broke me. Had to manage my effort on those. The instructions from the plan are to let the pace come to you. So, work hard, but not so much that you're digging yourself into a hole that you can't recover from. So I allowed myself to go maybe 10, 15, up to 20 seconds slower per kilometre than the target pace for big chunks of that long run effort, and didn't really have much more in my legs. So I could have started digging a bit harder if I'd really put my mind to it, but yeah, it didn't feel like the right thing to do, and there wasn't much more to give. So yeah, hopefully the pace does come to me. I'll do my best to recover well in time for the interval session on Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, the intervals this week are going to be at a faster pace than my 5k PB, so gradually getting closer to that target pace. So that is going to be a tough Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. And the long run efforts, having gone from 15 minutes to 20 minutes for the effort this week, it's going up to, you guessed it, 25 minutes on the next one. So wow, how's that going to go? I can only imagine. But yeah, I'll go there with some extra fuel in me, take the warm up a bit more easily, and yeah, see if we can do better this time. Looking forward to that. I'll catch you then.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.